was worrying about this and has now disappeared. What? Yes, not the toilet. Together, they will go. They will like the Christian couple.
pretty awesome. It's been quite a journey. First of all, Pranamda, Croeso Canesiba. Very warm welcome to all of you on this not very nice day. I drove up with Father Luke and 3 of our students, and I wondered if we were going to make it. I know some other people have had horrific trouble trying to find somewhere to park, but here we are. As you entered the Peace Hall, hopefully, I've just seen something very funny. The BBC lady over there is having trouble with Father Luke's accents.
It's lovely, it really is lovely though.
Who are behind it and have been working very, very hard. At the end of March, to finish their Millennium Project in promotion of the Peace Mile. There were 3 types out there, and it would be very interesting to know which ones you chose. The original Mara is a double rainbow, incidentally has... I think someone needs to get a mala immediately. Immediately. Good grief. No one is allowed into this temple of peace without a mala on. It's the rule. Okay, so the mala is a double rainbow, and of course it's a double rainbow of all these wonderful people here at the front. 14 different... The mala is highly symbolic. Each bead, each knot, everything holds a message, a very positive message that speaks out against intolerance in any shape or form that you can imagine. The first knot on a mala will make it abundantly clear to you what it's about. And then, beginning with the first red knot, which is Rowan's, I suppose, is the Christian bead. Behind us, we have these amazing peace candles that have been spent. But I'd like to draw your attention to the centre one, which is the one that Rowan will light for world peace. It's actually been infused with healing herbs from the 4 corners of the planet. White sage from North America. That'll please my native people. Tea barks from Africa. Very powerful candle for world peace. There. And later on in the ceremony, hopefully it will explain. And we'll light each candle for their tradition for world peace. Isn't it? There's a very wonderful man hiding behind here, and without him we'd be in grave difficulty. And his wife, Reverend Catherine, said, have faith, he'll do it. If he says he'll do it, he'll do it. And he's done it. He's a magician. I think he knows how to... The people, us, you're there somewhere. So that's that. I think I've said enough, actually. At this point, I'm going to hand over to some wonderful young people from our school. I haven't said who I am. Oh, you all know who I am. Sure. Well, in case you don't know who I am, my name is Pamela. Okay, I've said enough. Teachers go on for too long, don't they? They get very boring. So, I am looking for my head girl.
My name is Hannah Davis, and I'm head girl of Piper School. I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you something about the Peace Mala. The word mala is Sanskrit and means garland of flowers. In the East, a mala is a string of beads, which may be used in meditation. Here's a traditional mala. Our Peace Mala, however, is different. Its purpose is not for devotional use, though it may be used in that way if the wearer so wishes. The Peace Mala is a fashion item to wear on the wrist. It's committed to interfaith dialogue for peace, and every bead and knot holds a symbolic message. It's also a practical teaching. Peace Mala cuts through all forms of prejudice and celebrates what makes us different from each other. It is a vision for the future. Wearing the mala is a promise to help create a better world. We hope that teachers and leaders of faith communities will join us in this initiative and help spread the message of love, respect and peace through places of worship, Sunday schools, youth.
Fighter School.
My name is Adam Jones and I am the Deputy Head Boy at Fighter School. Hannah has already explained what the Peace Mala is. I'd like to emphasise its message through the words of Brother Roger of Taser. Without forgiveness, there is no future for our own self. Without reconciliation, what future is there for people? Has been aware of the Peace Mala from its humble beginnings in May of this year. He has written us 3 letters of support and is delighted to hear of today's launch. He sends very best wishes to the Millennium Youth Team and
Thank you for welcome and for the invitation to be present here today. I first visited Koitkay School, I think just over a year ago, at the invitation of some students from the school who had written to me and asked me a number of very difficult questions about what it was like being an archbishop and what I believed, and suggested I might visit them, and so I thought I should. And that gives you some indication of the initiative and the commitment of the children, students of that wonderful school. And the first thing I want to do this afternoon is simply to pay tribute to Pam and to her students and to a school which clearly has more than its fair share of imaginative and different and exciting and brave young people. I hope you can all agree in commending the work that's been done there and wishing it all good things for the future. It's not an occasion for a sermon, you'll be glad to know, but I want to say a word briefly about the most difficult sermon that I've ever had to preach. It was on September the 12th, 2001, in New York City. As most of you know, I was involved in the events of September the 11th and some 200 yards from the World Trade Center. The day after, the Bishop of New York asked me if I would go and celebrate Holy Communion at midday in the cathedral in New York, and I felt I needed to be there to pray with the people of the city. What I hadn't expected was that after the reading of the Gospel, one of the other clergy held out a prayer book to me and pointed to where it said sermon and looked at me. I said this was the most difficult sermon I had ever had to preach in my life, and so it was. But the words we had read a few moments earlier were some words from Christian scripture, from the letter to the Ephesians. Words about how, because of Jesus Christ, those who had been far distant from each other were brought close. And I thought of the terrible way in which, the day before, in an act of terrible violence and slaughter. And I thought, unless we allow ourselves to be brought close to each other by God in the name of peace, we will be brought up against each other in acts of violence and rejection. So those who have been far off, those who have been strangers, for the sake of their own life, can't just be blended into each other without any problem. But we meet as friends, as those who have been drawn close together by an act and an energy beyond all our resources. And that is what this celebrates. We've been brought together not just because we're nice people and we like to get on. Some of us probably are nice people, but maybe not all of us. And sometimes we get on and sometimes we don't. But we are here because we believe, as I say, that we have been brought together, invited together, drawn together. That's what we celebrate, and that's why, with all our different commitments, we can say we all recognize a drawing. So as you wear this wonderful creation, and as you thank God for those who designed it and promoted it, it's love and the voice of this calling. The drawing of this love and the voice of this calling. If we don't learn to be together with the commitment here, especially among our young people, to say, it need not be so, and as far as we have anything to do with it, it shall.
Thank you, Lord.
O mankind, we have created you from a male and female and have made you into nations and tribes for you to know one another. And among his signs is the creations of the heavens and the earth, and the difference of your languages and colour. Wheresoever you turn, there is the face of God. Truly, nothing is...
I'd now like to introduce you to Fei Hong, who's going to read you some wonderful words, words of Oriental wisdom. I think they're actually Buddhist.
生命就像一瞬間的彩虹，一束的光，黎明前的星辰。知道這些，你還能夠拋棄些什麼呢？不滿或喜愛，你會播些什麼種子落去呢？
Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is
a candle for world peace. And whilst you do it, I will say a prayer. Lord of the universe, Lord of all worlds, you bring light to those who have known only darkness. Bless all present in this place today, so that we may follow the path of light. May we learn the power of compassion, which heals all wounds, which heals all hearts. Peace begins with each one of us. And now, Father Luke, you will begin. And let's hope there is no confusion.
just a short prayer. And it's a wonderful time. I won't take your time, but it's important that we shouldn't leave it here. We have to live up to it. Like 10 Commandments were taught many, many years ago. We didn't live up to it, so we should try to live up to it. And I'll just say a prayer. This prayer is called Moa Malam in Tibetan, the concluding dedication prayer, so that we may achieve what we want. Okay? Thank you. The meaning of the prayer is, whatever dedication, whatever motivation we have done here collectively, may this benefit for the living.
Is everybody in the right place? Right. We start with Holly on behalf of the Christian faith. She will tell you what the peace message of the Christian faith is. And then if you can follow it on your mala if you like, and realize which faith they are representing and which peace message they are saying. But I hope by the end of it you will notice.
What is harmful for you, do not do to other people. Behind. Blessed is the person who loves his or her brother and sister more than him or herself. Islam. Live in harmony with all God's creation.
Zoroastrianism. Do not do to another with what is not good for yourself.
Tribal. He does not grieve the web of life, he is merely a strangleman. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself.
Jainism. If you pray, please pray. If you meditate, please meditate. And if you just want to think about it, just think about it. Think about what we have done. Think of our vision for the future. This is for our planet, our people, and all creatures on this planet. Please be still, be quiet, and just be.
Father, Lord of the universe, lover of humankind, open our hearts to one another, that in each one of us your word may be spoken, your life, your freedom, and your compassion may speak to the world to draw all to yourself. By the gift of your Spirit, make us agents of peace